Hi John, I love your videos and I love hearing your ideas. I was wondering if you could give me more insight into your viewpoint of food consumption in general, because I know you spoke in a past video about how you're feeling, the need to eat less and less, and I've been feeling the same for the past few years, but I haven't heard many people talk about it the way you did. Thanks, your friend Cam. Thanks, Cam. Yeah, I don't generally talk about it too much because it's dangerous. It's dangerous territory. I mean, where I come from with it is, you know, I talk about it's an illusion, we're all in an illusion, it's not real, and that's great. And I get that on some deep level, maybe you do too. But some part of me kind of wants, well, if it's true, can you demonstrate it to me, you know? I remember doing a fire walk. I did many fire walks years and years ago, back in the, it was like the very late 80s, maybe, yeah, about then. And I remember the first time I did a fire walk, you know, you kind of hear about it and, you know, there was a lot of mental preparation beforehand. And my mind is kind of going, yeah, I understand that, I get it, yeah, fine. Nothing prepared me for standing in front of the bed of coals. I mean, it wasn't coals, it's wood. You know, it's not like coal, it was wood, but it was hot, very hot, and it was like a big wood fire, and then all the, you know, the red hot embers from the fire stretched out along this big 15 meter trench. And you're waiting for the tap on the back to go, and everything in my body was going, don't do it. If you walk on that, you're going to get burned, because every other reference I had in my life to do with fire was getting burned. And then, you know, I got the tap on the back, and as I say, a full day of mental preparation for it. Got the tap on the back, walked across the red hot coals, didn't get burned at all. And I did that many times, right? And that changed me in some way, because I no longer think about fire in the same way that I did. And it's not like I'm picking coals out of the fire these days, you know, it requires a mental shift to do it. But how it changed me was, it was like, well, what I thought about existence and the rules of existence are not the same. So the whole food and liquid thing to me is kind of in that realm. I'm like, you know, you can say oh, it's all an illusion, man, it's not real. It's like, well, how is, you know, how can you bend the rules a bit to see that? Now for me, it was kind of like, well, there's something about food and liquid that kind of keeps me linked to existence. I kind of take a bit of existence inside me, and then it comes out, something else comes out a little bit later. And I don't know, probably because it's kind of a thing, and you know, you read about it a lot in different spiritual traditions, is they generally either go into fasting, not interested in fasting, they go into fasting as a principle, or they end up being, you know, food and liquid free. Now there's lots of different people doing that in different ways. Like you have the Breatharians, who are into the breath, you know, living on the breath, or the Prana, which is the energy in the breathing, right? Then you have the solar Breatharians, they're into the sun, and they're getting their energy from the sun. None of that interests me directly or in essence, because it's like, no, I'm interested in the mystery behind existence, you know, which is where I go to in deep dreamless sleep. I'm interested in being nourished by that. So getting energy from the existence, whether it's the sun, the moon, food, that's not that interesting to me. But being nourished by the mystery, that is of interest to me. But it's a dangerous thing to engage in, because it would be like me saying, oh, I think I'll have a go at fire walking. Now, let me build a big fire and make a trough, because I've seen those fellas on YouTube doing it. Let me just walk across, right? Chances are you're going to get burned badly. So it's kind of like that, you know. I kind of thinking about food being nourished by the mystery, being food and liquid free, that is a very dangerous thing to, engage in. And you sail very close to lots of very dangerous things. Malnutrition, anorexia, bulimia, body dysmorphia, you name it. Because one of the things I've discovered is that if you eat if you're unhappy about something and you eat to soothe yourself, and I've done this so much, right? And it's lovely, you have a bit of chocolate, you have a cake, you have whatever you like, right? And it's this like nice warm blanket feeling in your stomach of the food, and it's just that feels great. But what I've discovered is what happens with that is very little of no scientific backup for this, by the way, just my realization about it myself and from my own experience, is that the unhappiness doesn't go away. It gets wrapped in fat and stored in your body, right? And I know that because when you start to lose weight, particularly if you're doing it consciously, you're suddenly miserable, right? I was kind of going, why am I so miserable? And it was like, oh, it's all that packaged unhappiness inside me coming up, which makes perfect sense about why it is so difficult to lose weight. And if you, as I've said before, I don't have any willpower. I do everything like from the mystery or in tune with the mystery. So it's not like I'm, if I feel unhappy, and a cake or something is going to make me feel happier, well, I'll be eating the cake, But I do remarkable things, or at least I think they're remarkable to me, that I am able to, go without food and water for a certain period of time, or I do yoga, and I do hiking, I do all these things, but no willpower. It's just I'm kind of moved to do them. So there I am, losing weight and feeling miserable, and going, God, I really would love another cake. That would get rid of this horrible feeling. And then kind of going, yeah, but then I'm just going to repeat the cycle. I'm just going to have something. I'm just redoing it again, So these are all very subjective things, but the main thing is it's dangerous. That's the thing, and that's really why I don't talk about it that much. But it's all from a consciousness point of view. There's loads of people who talk about fasting and intermittent fasting and all that. That's all grand. Just doesn't appeal to me. But I am interested in demonstrating to myself in the same way like the fire walking does. I'm interested in kind of going, I have a sense that there's an evolutionary thing, or not in the species kind of way, maybe, I don't know, but more in a kind of like, there's a period in life when you're 40, beyond 40, because you know what people call the middle age spread. My sense is that is our bodies kind of going, you don't need to eat so much. I think up to that, it's like, well, eat everything. And for like younger people, I don't think it's really a thing, and they run much more. It's much more dangerous in terms of the anorexia and the bulimia and all the other things, because we've all got Instagram. We've all, there's all of that. So that's a lot for a younger person to deal with, and I don't think it happens naturally anyway. But in the just observing the changes in my body, like I'm 61 now, right? And from 40 on, I call it the great thickening. And you can see it, particularly in people who are in the public eye. Some people, you can tell they've got the lifestyle coaches and the gym and they go they spend a lot of time making sure that the great thickening does not affect them. But your average person, they just, through not doing anything different, they just start to thicken up. And that to me, I think, is their system just kind of going, yeah, maybe think about eating less and less and less, So main thing is to get that it's very dangerous stuff, and to be very, very, very careful and very self-aware if you engage in it, because they're dangerous waters.